For more than half a century, the Nürburgring 24 hours has been it. The ultimate test of endurance, a brutal, beautiful dance between driver, machine, and yeah, the world's most dangerous racetrack. But for 2026, the legend isn't just continuing, it's being completely reimagined.
And that brings us to the real heart of it all. How exactly do you modernize a monster like the Green Hell? How do you bring a race that's so steeped in this raw, unfiltered tradition into a new era of global superstars and cutting-edge tech without losing the very thing that makes it so special? So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll look at the reimagined event itself, the absolutely brutal new qualifying gauntlet, how they're digitizing the track, the massive impact of one particular driver, and finally, we'll ask, what does this all mean for the future of the Nürburgring? So what is actually happening here? Well, the 54th running of this race, it marks this huge strategic shift by the organizers, the ADSA. And listen, this isn't just a few minor tweaks. Nope. This is a fundamental overhaul. And it's all being driven by a perfect storm of new rules and just an unprecedented surge in global interest. Okay, let's start with the most dramatic change of all, qualifying. Gone are the days of those straightforward time trials. For 2026, earning pole position means you have to survive a brutal, high-stakes knockout tournament. It's designed for maximum drama and, let's be honest, for peak television. This right here really gets to the heart of the change. On one side, you had the simple, traditional time trials. On the other, you now have a complex, Formula One-inspired three-stage elimination system. This isn't just a new format, it's a whole new philosophy. It shifts the focus from pure endurance pace to an all-out showcase of raw, single-lap speed. And here's how it works. The whole massive field starts in top Q1. From there, only the best of the best advance to a 35-minute shootout in top Q2. And then finally, the top 12 cars, and only 12, get to move on to this final winner-take-all battle for pole in top Q3. It basically forces teams to be on the absolute limit right from the get-go. But getting into that final 12, it's going to be tough. The ADAC has created what they're calling a weighted advancement system, where teams literally have to earn their spot throughout the entire season. So as you can see, 6 slots are handed out for elite performances in early season races. The final 6 are then fought for on the Friday of the race weekend. This whole system gives teams a huge incentive to show their true pace all year long. No more sandbagging.
So with a more professional qualifying, you kind of need a more professional track, right? And that means finally taming the beast with technology. We're talking about a revolution in track safety on what is, let's face it, arguably the most dangerous circuit in the world. And the core of this whole upgrade, it really comes down to one number, 36. That's how many new, high-intensity LED light panels they're installing around the circuit. 28 of them are for the legendary Nordschleife, with another 8 on the modern Grand Prix track. This is a massive and, frankly, a long overdue infrastructure upgrade. For decades, safety has relied completely on brave marshals waving physical flags, often in dense fog or deep in the forest where visibility is just terrible. Well, this new hybrid system tackles that problem head-on. The LED panels are synced up with in-car displays, which means drivers get instant, unmissable communication everywhere on the 25-kilometer circuit. But for all you purists out there, don't worry. The organizers have made it super clear that technology is not replacing people. If any of the electronics fail, the human marshals are still the primary and final authority on track safety. It's all about creating a fail-safe system, not a fully automated one. So why all these changes and why now? A more complex qualifying, a safer track? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is one man. The debut of the 4-time Formula One world champion, Max Verstappen, has been this incredible catalyst, accelerating all these changes and creating what we're calling the Verstappen effect. And that effect was immediate. I mean, just look at this number, 150. For the first time in years, the event hit its absolute maximum entry cap, and it happened instantly. The demand to be on the same grid as Verstappen was so huge that it actually forced the organizers to change their entire entry model. And what that means is the race is no longer an open entry event. The ADAC now has to be selective. They're prioritizing teams based on things like sporting quality and safety records, while still making sure there's a good balance between the top-tier GT3 cars and the grassroots entries that are really the heart and soul of this race.
His impact really breaks down into two huge areas. First, commercially. His presence just guarantees a massive global audience, turning the race from a niche classic into a mainstream motorsport spectacle. And second, technically. His legendary precision is going to be the ultimate stress test for the balance of performance rules that are supposed to keep the whole GT3 field competitive. So when you put this all together, what does it actually mean? You've got a merit-based qualifying system, a digitally enhanced safety net, and an exclusive, sold-out grid. It really makes you ask, are we looking at a fundamentally new Nürburgring? So let's just quickly recap the three core pillars of this evolution. First, qualifying is now a meritocracy that rewards pure, flat-out speed. Second, a new digital safety net gives race control more authority than ever before. And third, the race has become this exclusive, must-see event, all driven by this unbelievable demand. And this brings us to our final thought. With more structure, more technology, and more global attention than ever before, has this wild, untamable race traded some of its chaotic, unpredictable soul for a bigger place in the modern sporting spotlight? That is the question the 2026 edition will really begin to answer.